You've reached this podcast where Aaron talk about stuff with comedians that he probably shouldn't, but they should really need therapy, but then they can't afford it because we stand-ups. Tune in. 95.5.
I think this is a perfect way to come back. Can I tell you, you're the first person I'm interviewing in about a year.
Damn, why you stop? Crack addiction?
Yeah, it was a little bit of the crack stuff. I've been working on that, and then outside of that, the camera wasn't working right. I needed a new computer and new sound equipment, and I was just not in a good headspace. Speaking of mental health and all of that.
When you say a good headspace, what does that look like?
I would say the past year, it's been rough. I can summarize it in the last mushroom trip, which was the death of innocence.
That's why you got funnier.
Is that what it is?
I think that's what it is. You could even ask.
What a backhanded compliment that is.
No, it has to. I swear to God, someone's not your friend if they haven't been your friend for years and seen you get better and say, "Damn, G, you just got better." That's a phony ass motherfucker.
Okay.
But no cap.
Okay, I'm listening.
And I mean, at least I also said this to other comedians before I said it to you because you was on stage.
Sure.
But like, yeah, I definitely. What I even said, I made it a thing. I was like, damn, Fro Aaron is way funnier. What the fuck is this? I said that. I don't lie on my shit. I said that shit. I was like, hey, Fro Aaron, way funnier. What the fuck is going on? For the people watching, y'all wasn't around when Aaron had the locks. Maybe you was. Maybe you were like a regular listener. So you remember he had the locks. And he used to have anger issues where he used to want to fight people because they didn't like the joke. I'm like, bro, what the fuck going on with dude? He can't do that. Now people laugh. And he don't fight them. So it's a really good thing that's going on.
I still got the anger in me.
I never took that away actually on both sides. It's still that people just laugh now.
You know Emily Ogle?
Yeah. She got the country accent. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I took her mushrooms and
good for you.
Yeah, that was I try to do that once a year. Nice little reset. And I basically, to summarize it, I've been in Chicago now about 4 years, and it's not an adventure anymore. This isn't anything new to me. I live here, and that.
Ooh, you at the honeymoon?
Yeah. That. Oh, there's basements.
Nigga, is it pulp in this lemonade?
Nah, it's just lemonade. Should just be lemonade. You don't like pulp?
Fuck no.
I'm sorry, man.
That's all right.
All right, I'll get my.
Is this some healthy shit or something? Is that what that is?
I got it from Trader Joe's.
I knew I fucking tasted the health in it. What the fuck?
I'm trying to take care of my.
I can taste when it's not high fructose corn syrup. This nigga's trying to kill me.
You want some Kool-Aid?
You got Kool-Aid for real?
Yeah.
Now you look like you don't even use good sugar in amounts. I don't trust your sugar amounts. You got regular lemonade in this bitch.
Okay, I'll set you up with some Kool-Aid right now.
No, thank you. You're not fucking ruining my taste buds with your. You probably use fucking brown sugar packets that be at Starbucks in your goddamn
Kool-Aid. You add sugar to your Kool-Aid?
What the fuck did you just ask me?
So you add sugar to your Kool-Aid?
Yeah. What do you mean? What do you put in Kool-Aid to make it sweet? Did you not make it?
The Kool-Aid itself is not sweet enough?
What are you talking about right now? When
I'm gonna make you some Kool-Aid.
No, you
I'm making you some Kool-Aid.
I won't allow you because you don't even understand that you put sugar in it.
I'm making you some Kool-Aid.
You out of your mind.
I'm going to make you some Kool-Aid. Before the end of this.
I take a drink at a Diddy party before I take your sugarless Kool-Aid.
Well, that's concerning for you.
It's concerning for you. Because you know niggas love sugar. You bring your ass in here with your fancy ass syrups and shit. Thinking you know everything with your fancy ass degree.
I'm so glad you're the first person to do this. All right, I got a question for you while I go make you Kool-Aid.
Let's make podcasting great again.
Oh, Lord.
I'm a fucking sick person.
You have a podcast with
Catherine Gungaware and Felonious Monk. It's called Beyond Bars Podcast. It's available on all things, Spotify, YouTube. Check us out. It's a justice reform podcast where we talk about all things justice related, new laws, new things. Where we also visit, well, not visit physically, but we have guests come on that have been impacted by the judicial system in different ways. Some as early as juvie, others are regular criminals, still ducking 12. So we like to talk about all of the different things that people are doing that is positive, though. We want to uplift people that are doing positive things in the community. Some people starting businesses, some people are becoming chefs. We want to uplift that because those people are returning home and they still need support. And so what that support looks like for us is in bringing them in, uplifting their story, because a big part of the problem is that they are not being humanized. And a part of humanization is going to help us decriminalize a lot of the stuff that's going on, right? And so that is the big premise around it. It's also 3 stand-ups, so it's hilarious as fuck. But yeah, we like to pay our guests because we think that's super important. We'll think about it. If you are a returning citizen, maybe you might have a felon or not, you got a record. So it's harder to get a job. It's harder to get loans. It's harder to get housing. The least we can do by asking you traumatizing stuff on, it could potentially triggering stuff, right, is pay you for your time.
How did that podcast start?
So Catherine and I do a ton of work. And
Also, you might want to lower the mic's in your face, and I just want to make sure people see your beautiful face while you talk.
Why the fuck you? Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. You can't take a compliment. You know what? Before we side tangent real quick.
I don't want no fucking compliment. I want to roll my weed.
Niggas are too homophobic in Chicago.
I don't want this nigga to talk about my face. Fuck wrong with him.
See, there it is.
He don't believe in consent.
There it is. What? What is happening? What is this?
You can't outwoke somebody that is a DEI trainer.
You know what? I'm gonna make you some Kool-Aid out of vengeance.
Hey, I do that shit all the time to people. I be like, what? Did you say sex work ain't work? They be like, what the fuck? I didn't say that.
How did this start?
So the podcast started. So actually, it is under a year. It's coming up on this year in 2025. So we started this maybe 8 months ago, like 8 or 9 months ago. But before that, actually, we started planning for it a year ago. So a year ago, me and Catherine really started to lock in with each other. Mind you, I had met her before through Ben Noble on the scene, but we didn't know that each other was so deep in the trenches in terms of, like, I still live in the hood right now. So, like, I'm in the hood. I live in the hood where I do the work. So I'm doing violence intervention prevention services where I rest my head and where I do cognitive behavioral therapy sessions for people and circle sessions and healing circles. So, like, I'm doing all that in the hood where I live. So I'll catch wind of her organization and what they doing because I was shifting to doing some programming, some literary programming for an organization that was partnered with county because a lot of people don't understand that when people come back home, there's a big technology gap. So if I've been locked up since 2000 and I come back and it's an iPhone, I'm like, yo, what the fuck is that? You know what I mean? Or, you know what I mean? Depending on how much, depending on what level. What is that? Just taste it. Oh, you crazy as hell. You think I'm drinking that?
Nah, man. Just taste it.
Nah,
come on.
I'm not. I already told you I'm not. So I don't even know why you did that.
I'll drink it when you're gone.
You should, because
it's
that's
delicious.
What consent looks like.
It's
it looks
delicious.
like you listening to my choice. Fuck you talking about.
You disgust me.
I'm a sick fuck. No, but anyway, I caught wind of the stuff she was doing. Knew she was a stand-up, but I just didn't know she was in the trenches where she was, like, literally leading yoga sessions in county with some of my people that was getting home. She was thorough to them while they was locked up. So when they came back to the crib and was talking about her, I'm like, yo, I do stand-up with Shorty. She is thorough. So I hit her like, damn, Joe, let's do something with the orgs. But at the time, and even to this day, a lot of people don't always see the vision. So I was telling my org at the time, I'm like, yo, we need a podcast. It'll allow us the stuff we need, the multimedia we need to get funds coming in from the donors. We also get an opportunity to let our young bulls come in here and work with this equipment. You could write all that shit off. We could also get funds flowing in because I believe in what we call social entrepreneurship models. What that means is you can still be a non-for-profit but have a for-profit model that brings in money to offset it so you don't need funders for everything. What that looks like is, so for example, if had they listened to me and the podcast would have brought in 20 million views for them and they start getting in checks, those checks come straight back to them and they are now still a non-profit, if that makes any sense. because you can be a nonprofit that has a mandate from a for-profit to give you X amount of percent, right? So maybe it's 60%. So now as you run this podcast that is technically for profit, you got Spotify, you got all those things. The views coming in, the streams coming in, it pays the nonprofit, so to speak.
What got you into this form of work initially?
Man, dog, low key, other than entertainment, bro, only thing I ever worked was 501.
What does 501 mean?
5013, charity shit. I work with a lot of nonprofits, a lot of NGOs, non-governmental organizations, in varying levels. So I did it internationally. I've done it locally. I've done it nationally as well. Which like I said, a lot of people don't even fucking know this shit. I'm giving Aaron the fucking scoop.
God damn, man.
You know I don't talk to comedians about real shit.
See,
I'm sorry.
I'm a real
I get in
comedian.
trouble all the time on our podcast for getting loud. They're like, why did you lean in and get loud?
What is the screaming? What's going on there? Just you?
Every time I tell people I'm not stable, they got to see it to believe it.
That's your moment of letting it out.
Oh, I don't have a moment of letting it in no more.
I feel like when Kendrick's new album dropped, you were yelling mustard real hardcore.
I live it. I was yelling mustard for no reason, just because I was making a hot dog. I got anger.
You're yelling mustard before Kendrick ever yelled mustard.
Man, look, I was frustrated with life way before he was in tour with Drake.
That shit is wild. But the whole getting funnier thing. So you feel like I can't remember what I said exactly that made you feel like that is the case. What was it exactly? What is your logic?
You talking about your loss of innocence.
Yeah.
And I think that's directly proportional to how you're able to relate to people because there is more. Put it like this.
Oh.
They're going to be able to feel you. Before they couldn't feel you. The dogma life beating they fucking ass. Why the fuck are you so happy, you Californian ass nigga?
Okay, now I don't think I came off as happy. Is that how I came off?
You came off as optimistic.
Interesting. Why? Okay. And you feel like optimism cannot be funny?
Optimism can be funny, but you have to be able to be relatable. And if you're going into a room, bright-eyed, bushy-tail, and everyone in that bitch hate life, you might piss somebody off. You might not get the reaction you want.
I think it's interesting the idea that I could be perceived that way because internally I don't think I've ever been.
You know, that's why they be having the sun sign and the moon sign. You got the chakras on the wall. You know what the fuck going on. You know you one way, but you come off as another.
Sure.
And you got to keep in mind, we talking about a Chicago scene where motherfuckers already know you different. You already carry yourself different a little bit. Yeah.
Go ahead.
You're fucking Californian. What do you mean?
Elaborate. Because
even worse, you like from the Inland Empire, ain't you?
Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah, no.
That's what... Hey, don't get me wrong. I used to go to IE, cut up. You know, I call it the IE because I was...
You out there doing meth? That's what they do out there.
Brother, didn't you just say that's where you from?
Yeah, the meth. That's what they do.
But I say this. Y'all know how to have a good fucking time.
I'll give you that.
Boy, I remember them parties was going fucking mega viral. People was calling me from the crib in Chicago like, nigga, is you going to that party in the Inland Empire? You should pull up. I'm like, brother, that is 2 hours away from me. I plan every time I go. But y'all had the cucumber parties. I remember that era. You thought I wasn't around. Yeah, nigga. I keep my eye on
What were you
everything.
doing in the Inland Empire?
Sick shit, really.
Okay.
If we being honest.
Yeah, I don't want to get you in trouble, so we won't go.
Oh, no, yeah. I think, what is it? It ain't been 10 years from that. So, yeah, we're going to wait.
Oh, my Kool-Aid is in the shot. You should have some Kool-Aid, man.
I won't.
Just have some. Just a little
Are
bit.
you respecting my choices?
Just taste a little bit.
You're not respecting my choices.
Come on, man.
Is that a regular thing for you, or?
This is what we're gonna do.
You're going to respect my fucking decisions.
I
can't wait to do Charlamagne. I'm going to fucking be an asshole on Breakfast Club.
I think Charlamagne would love that.
Actually, so we had Zoe Lee come on to the pod, and you know Zoe's big in the comedy world. You know, she used to be Dick Gregory manager, and she's currently niche manager. But she do so much in the community as well. So she pull up, and Monk is going on this deep rant about how we don't treat ugly women don't get the same type of leverage as an ugly guy in terms in like in media. And he was talking about he brought up Charlemagne, and he's like, nobody ever wrote Charlemagne, and I was like, you're right. And I looked in the camera, I was like, Charlemagne, you an ugly motherfucker, and we need to say it more. And they was like, hey, that's our guy. I'm like, man, y'all don't never let me have fun in this bitch.
I got a question for you.
What's up?
All right. So Charlemagne and Andrew Schultz. You know what's going on with the Kendrick and the.
Oh yeah, I'm familiar with white people doing too much.
So
watching for that shit.
What's your take on that? Because I want to hear your take, and then I'll probably present some devil's advocate.
So Kendrick said what he said. Andrew said what he said. But I think it's super important to revert back to what Cat Williams said. At no point is rape funny. Under no circumstances. So when a guy who is feeling slated feel like his joke is about how he could rape you, how easy it'll be, you can't tell me, 1, that it ain't offensive, 2, that it ain't weird as fuck, 3, that it ain't a smoking gun or something wrong with your psyche.
Okay.
You're a comedian. Would you ever get up there and do a rape joke like that?
No, but I'm going to play devil's advocate. And
I would prefer you not to.
Okay.
But if you do choose to side with Satan, I will try to smite you.
Okay.
Go for it.
I think the argument is that within comedy, nothing is inherently funny. In the same way that me, in a sense of loss of innocence of moving to Chicago.
That's fucking hilarious.
It's coming from a dark place, right? Mm-hmm. So comedy inherently is coming from this dark place. Rape is one of those dark topics. So yes, you can make I would say that comedy or stand-up comedy is making something that is not funny, funny. So no, rape is not funny. Murder's not funny. Assault's not funny. But stand-up comedy is the act of taking something that is inherently not funny and creating jokes around the topic to make it funny, if that makes sense.
For sure. Now, do you know what it is to be hacky?
Yeah.
What's the difference between somebody doing the good and doing the bad?
Doing something hacky and doing something...
We're taking a subject and doing bad, and then it becomes hacky versus someone doing the good, and it's not.
I think hacky comes from a repetition, a lack of originality, and a lack of authenticity. So when it comes to hacky... So, for example, for white comics in particular, and I'm speaking to the North Side specifically.
North Side of Chicago, that's y'all.
Yeah. These are the topics. Tell me if you've heard this before. A white dude gets on stage, talks about rape, pedophilia, molestation, incest.
There you go. I was waiting on incest. That's their number.
Yeah, they love incest. They love the incest stuff. Bestiality, 9/11, the Holocaust, Judaism. They say black, but they say the C and the K way too aggressively. Like, those are all of the hacky things that white male comics say.
Know, I ain't gonna hold you, Aaron. Some of the motherfucking stories I hear about, I be hearing it and I pull up to the show and then it don't be the same when I pull up. Because I want to see what's to it. And not like I'm finna go physically beat people's ass. I know that this ain't the arena for that. It's verbal shit. So if I see you get up there and you want to go nigga, whatever precious fucking community you come from, I'm on ass. I'm on ass. That's why I don't do roast battle, because I do this shit for justice. I'm like Batman. If I catch you in this motherfucker violating whatever community you thought wasn't I'm on your ass. I don't give a fuck if you get a check for the government for your limp fucking toe. I don't give a fuck. Nothing is off, because they get real comfortable. They get real fucking comfortable, and they be like, oh, Aaron's not gonna say nothing. I pull up. I don't even. What's up? What you say? Oh no, that shit sucked. That shit was ass. Fuck. Like, no, we got to go back to bashing people for violating. Andrew, you violated. Bash. Fuck you talking about? You a comedian? Walk that line. You know what the fuck it is. You done been in the room, said some shit that you thought was funny, other people didn't. Mm-hmm. Did you get a get out of pass because you got friends that's black? No.
Well, you're talking to Andrew Schultz. You're looking directly at me, so there's some.
You're the devil. I'm smiting you. So at the end of the day, it's not the same, especially because we're talking about person, right? Mm-hmm. Topic is different than person. He didn't say, "Hey, rape joke." No. The joke is me raping
You're right.
And that's
my issue with it.
example.
Go ahead.
Example. What celebrity with blonde hair and blue eyes can he make that joke about? What woman can he make that joke about? About raping her? What celebrity?
Do you want me to give my actual answer to this?
Yeah.
He can do whatever he wants. Right, exactly. That's my answer. He can make the joke.
Come on, man.
But I know what you're saying.
Don't be a smart ass. You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
He can in the sense of what can he get away with culturally, so on and so forth. Yeah, I know.
And culturally, it's okay to talk about raping black men. You know why? Because it's hacky. You know why? Because it's been done. You know why? Because historically, buck breaking was a big thing. Mm-hmm. And that's another issue that we have as a community. We have these talks, but not enough. Because what you're witnessing is somebody who's literally tapping into their ancestors. Mm-hmm. And his subconscious go right to raping this man that he into it with.
Mm-hmm. I agree. My issue with Schultz and all that situation is we've essentially, Charlemagne essentially has let a wolf into the hen house. It's you give them an inch, they take a mile, and that is my issue with. That's my issue.
Now we cook it with grease.
The frustrating part about white people. Have you ever grown up around them?
Define it.
Lived in a location that was predominantly white, and you were usually a minority in that location.
I wasn't old enough for it to affect me to the point.
Okay.
I moved to the hood when I was like 6. So
okay.
I was in the burbs. I used to go to like Catholic schools and shit. But when my old man and my OG split, shit, shit get real. Just like in every household, shit get real to the motherfucker. You feel me? So when they split, it wasn't no more private school, Catholic school shit that I was doing beforehand. So now I'm in public school, and I remember one of my first memories in public school. I get in that motherfucker. Mind you, I'm coming from a Catholic school background. I'm coming from there's not archdiocese. There's the schools where they combine grade levels. I forgot the name of it. I feel so slow right now. So you are a first grader in the class with second graders part of the day. Second graders are in class with the third graders a part of the day. And so my speed for learning was different. So when they put me in there, I came in there and I started writing in cursive, and they was like, "Look at this boy. He ain't even trying. Oh, how does he know how to?" I'm ahead of my class. I started the test. They like, "Yo, this motherfucker's actually like he's bored." And so they because of my location though, smack there in the hood. None of the magnet schools at the time, because this was before charters. I'm that old. So you had to apply for a magnet school. Part of your application was your location. They looked at my address every time and told me no. I got denied by every magnet school, and there wasn't one on the west side. And so I couldn't go to magnet school. I had to just go to public school.
Do you feel like that was ultimately, and I know at the end of the day, you're never going to know, life happens, life, it is what it is, but do you feel like that was ultimately a positive or negative for you?
I believe that every redirection is from the Most High, and it's for my best. It's in my best favor. Even if I don't know it. It does bring me a deeper sense of peace, even though that may be a crock of bullshit. It brings me a little bit more sanity knowing that every redirection that I could keep myself up at night happened for my best interest, even if I didn't know it. Because things can't happen for the best and you not know it. And so I like to make sure that I don't think I know too much, right? And so I find a little solace in that simply because I ended up like winning a science fair in high school, going to regional, doing these cool things, but I didn't have the support. Ended up chasing girls, running the streets, etc. Ended up still going to college, but I didn't have the support. It's a young black man that's ready to do science shit, and I didn't have the support that I needed. And looking back, it do make me sad because deep down, I want a laboratory. I don't want to call myself a scientist because I think we're just asking questions and looking for answers to them, even in life.
I live in a janky apartment.
It's okay. I like janky. Janky is cool. It got character.
That was ghosts and shit.
This the shit that J. Cole be rapping about though. This is that shit.
Beauty in the struggle.
You know why? So before I go into the science thing too much, I believe heavily that like there's a lot of beauty in the struggle. Like my friend told me when I first got back from LA, right? Had been super depressed, visibly depressed. and people are like, yo, he in shock. Like, my crib just had a fucking water fountain, and now I'm back. You know, I left North Hollywood, and I'm back. You know, it's crack houses all around me. Like, Joe, I'm fucking pissed. I'm out of money. I'm broke. I'm single. All this shit. Can't make money. The world shut down. I was pissed. And my boy told me one day I was starting to get back into stand up in the city. I was building my chops up. I was getting my confidence back up. He told me, he's like, bro, you gotta take this shit in. Like, it's gonna be a point where you can't walk around the way you do. Like, you walk to go get you some woods. You walk to go see your auntie. You go do all this shit. You can't do that shit when that shit pop, bro. Take this shit in, cause there's gonna be a point where none of this shit is gonna even be possible. Think about it like this. You get up, you go places. You got 12 plus staff depending on you. No, you don't. You go where your agenda for the day take you. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So the type of lifestyle I used to see and I couldn't verbalize all the time, or I didn't trust the people around to say, it does require you to let go of everything, and it's not just on some like Illuminati shit, but on some your way of life. The people's relationships you have, because the people might be there, but you crazy as fuck if you think the people around you look at you the same way they do look at you now versus if you run up 10 million. That's not even, you wouldn't even allow that. Mm-hmm. So everything is going to get very different, and that's what he meant. Fuck just walking down the street. My talk with my mama different. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so shit get different. Like, and I'm not 10 million up or none of that shit, but I know what it's like to walk in a room and people don't ask you how you doing before they ask you, can I get booked on your show? Mm. I know how, you know what I mean? Like, I know the signs. And a porn star actually gave me some really good advice while I was living out there, because I couldn't boggle with why I was feeling more distance from the people who I love and who I do it for. Mm. And she was like, Kyrie, you have to be, and I love porn stars, sex workers work. She was like, Kyrie, I had the same issue when I left home and my video started going viral and my family was acting weird because the money was there, but everybody was talking about me and it was a small town. She was like, you got to remember, Kyrie, your ambition is a blessing. That shit ain't in everybody's heart. That shit ain't in everybody's head. So when you see somebody with it and they found a way out and it's working for them, they cling to that sometimes. Have a little grace for them people that don't have a way out. Shit fuck my head up.
What you're saying relates to me on a personal level in that I visited California recently. Yeah, I did it. Yeah, all of that. I think we're doing it like this now.
Not in Chicago. That's BD. You gonna get shot depending on where you at. Don't do that.
I don't throw shit up regardless.
I know you don't.
I'm good on all that. That was something. You know what? That's something else I learned after to divert a little bit. Moving to the whole living around white people thing. It can make a complex around you and your perception of yourself, especially racially. So when I moved out here, I remember when I was going to the south side of the west side when I had a car and it was a little easier. And I was like forcing myself to be in those black spaces. Initially, it was really uncomfortable. It was very strange. It was like hard to. I wouldn't even say it was hard. I don't like it when people say to just be yourself.
But it's true, bro. That's why I said, like, are you talking to a motherfucker who lived in Cali for 4 years? Like, I ain't gonna cap. I know the difference. But also, you talking to somebody who got called different when they came back. Mm. Like, I came back, I had a switchblade, and everybody had guns. I was like, hey, what the fuck is that? I was like, they don't really do guns in LA like that. It's tough. It's different laws. But it's different. Yeah. Or when I came back and I was wearing long ass socks with shorts, and people was like, "What the fuck wrong with you, Kyrie?" And I'm like, "Cause you know it might get cooler later."
You sound a little Cali.
It don't get cooler later in the day. It's cold all day. Yeah. So you know what I mean. It's just certain shit that I was doing because I was accustomed, and it's different here.
It's different, and it's appreciated. That pressure is appreciated. What I was gonna say was I don't like it when people tell you to be yourself. I would replace that with find yourself.
I like that because find and be. Don't get me wrong. I want you to be who you are at that moment for sure. Mm-hmm. Be true to who you are at that moment. But please do not feel confined. Mm-hmm. And that's why I like the idea of finding yourself, because finding doesn't stop. You don't stop. You keep growing. and you keep learning and you keep morphing into this, you Mew and you go to Mewtwo, so now you're a bad motherfucker. So like can you imagine that? If Mew was like, bro, I'm never leaving Mew, I really like this shit, motherfucker like, nigga, come on. You like, you fucking you holding back from being Mewtwo. And to be honest, that's I think that's a common thing, especially for black stand-ups or black comedians, and really black people in a lot of spaces. Well, where we're working on identity, but we're also talking about it, but we're growing through it while also being ostracized for it. It's a different type of thing, because with stand-up you have to be vulnerable. That's how you get good. But fuck, while I'm vulnerable, you're gonna shit on me? What type of complex did you just make me a masochist? Did you just unleash a new kink? Like, I don't know what you just did, stand up or comedy, but it's fucking there. Like I was saying, like I had a nervous breakdown, and like, no fucking PTO for us.
Nope.
You think I get some type of fucking sick leave for a show?
You gotta keep grinding,
bro. I'm in a whole fucking fellowship. You know what I mean? Like, I beat out dozens and dozens of people to get to that spot, if not 100. And it's like, I don't got the option. And a lot of people think I be bullshitting when I'm like, no, like, I don't have no other option, gang. Like, it's a difference. Like, people applaud, and I'm like, bro, I done put myself in a box, bro. 10 years. I got to make this work or nothing. It's comedy a bust for me. I don't got no savings. You know what I'm saying? This is it. This is it. This is my savings. This is my retirement. This is my future. I don't got no children. This is my all. So, like, I feel a little crazy.
I love it. To go bring it back to what I was saying. So I went to California, and it was my first time doing a show, finally. And I was finally going to be, like, this is after 4 years now. I was going to be like, okay, let's see what the Chicago shit taught me. Let's see what happens. And I mean, far and beyond.
You crushed that shit.
In every capacity.
You know why you crushed that shit?
Why'd I crush that shit?
Because you're an amazing hybrid. You ever heard the phrase, and Monk even said this shit, and I heard LA people say it before, and I didn't understand it. People come to Chicago to get good.
Sure do.
And I didn't realize that because I was spoiled. I was born here. Jokes, who knows? But, like, when I went out there and I hit the scene and I had to come back and I had to, like I said, like, I had to re-chop my teeth because, the grind real. The only other motherfuckers who got a grind like this is like New York, but they still don't have the same type of soul. They shit a little bit more robotic than us.
Let me write that down because I want to talk
about
and
that. Don't fucking come for me. Y'all know I love y'all. I'm gonna be out there. I fuck with y'all. There's some stand-ups I love out there because they could come here and crush, but not everybody in New York could come here and crush. If you crush here, I guarantee you crush out there. Merchant.
So I left California with this feeling, this thought of like wow, I've improved so much, and the reason I did that was I put myself in a space of pressure, and then I think that depression was coming on because I reached, with the type of pressure I was willing to put myself around, I reached a ceiling, and now I'm in a place where I need to add more pressure, and the way I'm doing that is by trying to put myself around people that are, I haven't found the best way to put it yet, so just bear with me. Know that, take this with a grain of salt, but people that are, air quotes, better than me, above me, further than me, have more work ethic than me. I want to be around that so I can push myself even further. And that's where my headspace is at. So when you talk about making this podcast with Munkle and that's Munkle. With Munkle and Catherine, when you talk about the grind, when you say that this is what you have and this is what you're doing, it's something that's inspiring to me and makes me want to be around you more because you're pushing it, and I want to be around people that are pushing it. So I have a good deal of respect for what you're doing.
Appreciate you, brother. And honestly, that's part of the reason I came back. A young lady I won't name because she hurt my feelings, funky bitch. But she was still a really important young lady because she passed an important message to me. When I came back, I was actually doing a writing session with her, and I was actually doing a real writing session. And she looked at me and she said, "Kyrie, I think God sent you back because you had to find your tribe." And like, that shit really stuck home. Because mind you, this is a girl I used to take her to the hood. We in the hood doing writing sessions. You know, that not everybody really cut like that to be in the hood, let alone doing writing sessions and shit. But she knew my family, my situation. She, like I said, she'll be on my grandma block a couple times, whatever. She was just like, man, Joe, you really finna be like your family chance to make it. Like your grandma shining beacon of hope and shit. Like she was being an asshole. You know, comedians are assholes. But like I felt
I'm looking
that
at
shit.
one.
And so when she told me that shit, because you know they say your vibe attracts your tribe. And so like the way I vibe is way different than then, dog. You know what I'm saying? Because like now I have no interest in having to be the man. I do not need to be the man. But the team need to win. So I don't give a fuck if I need to put up points, assists, rebounds. I don't give a fuck if I need to do stand-up. I don't give a fuck if I need to produce it. I don't give a fuck if I need to write it. I don't give no fuck. I will storyboard that shit. I will ghost hand that shit. We need to win, though. And so that mentality is a lot different. Like, I was out there when Kobe died. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was out there when Nipsey died. Like, I done seen some really amazing men die, but I know the mentality they had because I was blessed enough to see it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so that's how I look at comedy. So now when I meet people like you and I meet people like Ty and I meet people like Jarrell Scott Barnes and I meet people like fucking Arlita Hall and I meet people like Joy Gamby and I'm meeting all these, you know, Sheldon Calhoun, I'm meeting all these dope ass comedians, I'm like, yo, let's fucking run it up. Like, let's run it up. Like, I'm sitting in Second City, bro, and the fellowship's going amazing. But to have people within me say, I fuck with your idea, it feel great. But like Kendrick said, I don't do too much. I'm still in the trenches. I got to get out. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, and now I understand what he said when the brother mentioned, like, yo, if Dr. Dre give me his hand for a hand, I'll break his hand. Fuck that shit. Mm-hmm. Like, no, I needed to get it this way. And I actually appreciate everybody that helped me get it this way. Because a lot of comedians, you know, hey, yo, help me get this. Can you let me?
I'm picturing people in my head.
And I never once called none of my friends, bro. They do amazing shit from working Nickelodeon to fucking, you know, writing for the BET Awards and all that. I never picked up the phone and was like, yo, get me out this jam. Cut your teeth, get that shit. Because it made me a better comedian. I'm a better writer now. I'm a better producer now. And now it's to the point where, like, I was even nominated for Best Producer at the Comedy Gazelle. Yeah. That's dope. Shout out to y'all. But it's dope. Like, I'm in a space now where now people are like, yo, Kyrie, you be with funny motherfuckers. You know you got an idea of funny. And that's what I really wanted the whole time, right? Because, like I said, I don't know who for example, I don't know if you ever seen the show. Have you ever heard about Fat Tuesday?
Elaborate.
So Fat Tuesday is a documentary that came out, and what it did was it picked up the story. I'm sorry. Fat Tuesday.
This is so nice. Okay.
Fat Tuesday picked up the story of Robert Harris. Shout out Chicago GOAT, when he went out there to L.A. and he started crushing shows in the hood south of the 10. You familiar with that phrase, south of the 10, south of the 10? So he's south of the 10 in the hood doing shows that's busting. To the point where all the black celebrities coming down at Lambos, all this shit. Because he got this different style of comedy, the Chicago shit, going through the crowd, pointing people out, funny as hell, hella soul, roasting people, a hell of a time. Russell Simmons and them pull up like, hey, this is dope. You got a DJ and shit? Hey, we could put this on TV. Robert Harris dies. Unfortunately, right? And this is all in the documentary. So what happens is he had his proteges. Martin Lawrence being one of them, Midwest GOAT, shout out Detroit. And his other GOATs, Guy Torrey, Joe Torrey, came from St. Louis. The Midwest ain't to be fucked with. So, shout out to Robert Harris for having his young bulls. So what happened was they took Martin, they go do the first couple seasons or whatever for Def Comedy Jam, the shit get big. Then that's when Joe Torrey and them come up. Now, Guy Torrey pull up and he got to make a name for himself. Now, his big brother got a name for himself. Martin, he got all these connections to the game. He moved all the way there from St. Louis. He started doing a room on the north side. He locked in with the people with Shorty and them at the comedy store. They start doing what they call Fat Tuesdays. What they do for niggas, they give us a night, right? The end of the night that ain't selling. He took Tuesday and sold it out every day, every Tuesday for years. Sold the fuck out, packed out. And all the celebs in that bitch, to the point it's the it spot. He took all of the energy from the black people and the culture and took it north of the 10 and turned that shit on his head.
And that's what I be doing with Ask a Comedian. That's why I do the shit I do, and I be trying to bring comedians from all over. Because they talk about it in the documentary. You should check it out. They talk about how he gave spots to people from out of town that was funny as fuck. And when they would come, nobody would know them. But a casting director would be like, yo, I want to pull up and see your shit. And they'll see this person that he brought in, and they're funnier than him. They're on fire. We're going to actually cast them. We appreciate you. Great show. But that person would go on to be Chris Tucker in Friday. You know what I mean? So it's like, you can't knock that nigga. You know what I mean? Or just the idea of like, yo, it's bigger than me. You know what I mean? And so that's the approach I've really been taking lately. It's bigger than me. When I see that opportunity, that's why, like, no cap, already I started Ask a Comedian this year. No cap, the comedians that have been on there, it's been a couple months where it was the summer, everybody popping out. It was low numbers, but the crowd be dope. But depending on who in the crowd, motherfuckers walk up to you afterwards. I done had management from certain people like, yo, can we get spots in the room? Yeah, come through. That's my goal. My goal as a producer is to produce a great show for everyone involved, including y'all, so that you don't just get paid what you get paid for the set. It's a unforeseen win if we got the right directors and shit in there. I went to a show that was produced so well on the North Side. Shout out to them for this show because it was amazing. Carissa booked me for it. I did it. It was amazing. I did some stand-up. I did some improv. They tricked me into doing improv every once in a while. Fuck y'all stand-ups, though.
I've never seen you look so embarrassed.
I know, because I be singing and dancing. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It's sick. Fucking make me sing and dance. Anywho, a couple directors come up to me after the lick, and that's what the whole goal is. I go up there, kill, and I have fun, and then directors just like, oh, man, great. They following me and shit. You know what I mean? So it's like, that was the goal. And I saw what they did with Fat Tuesdays because so many great people came through there. Nick Cannon was one of the motherfuckers that came through there as a youngin' and then ended up getting big. You know what I'm saying? So they opened the door for a lot of people, and that's what I want to do. Like, I want to be a part of the whole scene thrive, and that's why I like your pod. I go and do other people's podcasts. I chop it up with motherfuckers. Because I think that if we create a system, bro, there isn't a system better than ours. But if we're fragmented, we're not working together. Everybody wants to backdoor, and everybody want to be seen every time. My nigga, I had a lady who wrote for In Living Color. Shout out to Maya. She told me years ago, Kyrie, you're going to make more money writing, acting, than you will off stand-up. I showed her all my shit, bro. I got a vote. I never really post. I showed her my vault, gang. I showed her all of that shit. She looked at my writing shit. She looked at my acting, and she looked at me and said, you're not going to make no money on stand-up for real. You should focus on writing and acting. And I was fucking crushed. Fucking crushed. Not understanding. At that moment, I was crushed looking back. That's beautiful that this woman thinks so much of my on camera abilities. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that she fuck with my writing, that she fuck with the shit that I could create. But I was, in a space. So shout out to you, Maya. I love you and I appreciate you for that. I was young and I tweaked. I fucked up on that one. But yeah.
I have a question.
Go for it.
You were bringing up the Midwest. Shout out to the Midwest, Detroit, and Chicago specifically.
Mm-hmm. St. Louis too. I shouted them out too.
And we were talking about New York.
Mm-hmm.
My experience, I've only been in New York once.
Mm-hmm.
My experience of the comedy scene out there was, wow, these people grind and they are amazing writers. They're machines when it comes to
You met
writing.
the motherfuckers doing 4-5 shows a night?
Mm-hmm.
Dogs.
Crazy.
Dogs.
Amazing writers.
Dogs.
Now, to me, the difference between New York and Chicago was that Chicago, you can definitely hit plenty of spots. There's plenty of places to perform. But there's some time to breathe. And there's some time to reflect. There's a little more. It's a little slower.
Look at your little deep ass. I want to reflect. Get your deep ass. No, you're right. You are supposed to. You're right. I'm just being a dick. You supposed to.
You could take a second and think, well, how did that set go? Because in New York, it feels like, well, that set didn't go well. That's okay, because down the street, I'm going to do another one. Then down the street, I'm going to do another one. Then I'm going to do another one. And it never stops. There's never a moment where you take a second and think. And so to me, the difference between Chicago and New York is that New York creates writers. Chicago has personalities. And that's how I feel. What are your thoughts?
It's funny. So I just had this conversation in a writing intensive session at Second City where we talked about people's ability to become characters in sketch, right? And how Although if all you do is characters, people try to tag you or they might nag you or they that's what makes the millions. So if you think of Ashley Larry, if you think of, you know what I'm saying, Tyrone Biggums, if you think of, you know, Auntie Kim, no matter if you think of Stewart from Mad TV, no matter if you think of, you know, these different characters, you know, fucking Fire Marshal Bill from In Living Color, you know what I'm saying, the list goes on and on. But them characters is gonna get you the millions. How many characters was Martin in the Martin show?
He was everybody.
You feel me? From, you know what I mean? So it's like, you know,
it's like 3 different people in the opening, if I remember correctly.
You know, and I'm not taking nothing away from people that come through the New York scene in terms of characters, but if you look at the type of stand-ups that are coming out of their scene, amazing in their own way. But look at the type of people that come out of Chicago scene or of Chicago, they are literally known for the soul that they have. Mm-hmm. No matter if it's a Robert Harris that we just talking about, no matter if it's a Bernie Mac. You know what I mean? We're literally, that's our trademark. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, you might be funny as fuck and they might remember your joke, but I think a Chicago comedian is really good at connecting and making you feel. You know what I mean? If you feel. Maybe you like, yo, this nigga funny as hell. And you don't actually say it like a Chicago crowd might actually tell you.
Yeah.
He funny as fuck, boy. Like, damn, bro, you don't want to just say, ha. Fuck. Make my job so hard.
Now, in terms of this scene, it seems like you have a real love and appreciation. And I think you describing it as it's bigger than you is really poignant. And I'm curious, are there any comics that come to mind that you perceive as either underrated or are so important and integral to you specifically? Before you say it, okay, as an example for myself, Rachel Hall would be an obvious one.
Oh, you mean, like in the scene right now?
In the scene local. Right now, a person local. Right now.
Because, you know, I was going to say my girl, she's my mentor, my big homie. Because
let's hear about this person.
No, Rashida is amazing, man. She's the one who told me 10 years ago, take the shit serious.
What's her full name? Your life.
Rashida, how you say her last name? Olalaway?
Okay.
Yeah. So, you know, me and Rashida, like I said, we go all the way back though. You know what I'm saying? Like, she told me to take the shit serious and it changed my life, and I literally watched it change my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I be getting emotional because that's my nigga for real, bro.
How'd you meet this person?
Oh, I met we was so I was in undergrad doing funny shit. She had went on to do Second City and would come back for shows. And, you know, at this point, I wasn't no comedian. I was just a Black Student Union president. And so I had a budget, and I told him, like, yo, we booking her. She real as hell. She funny as fuck. She came back, and I was hosting events, right? So I would bring out people, and they would be like, yo, Kyrie funny as hell. And it's like, she saw me, and she was like, nigga, you funny as fuck. Like, take this shit serious, and it'll change your life. And, like,
what do you think would have happened if she not said that?
Shit, I would hate to diminish what she means to me in a moment, right? Because, like, this is throughout the years, right? So, like, helping me understand my value, even while grinding. You know what I'm saying? And understanding, like, my path different. It's fuck. Like, I was a motivational speaker. That's so uncommon. You know what I mean? To be on tour doing motivational speaking while doing stand-up at bars and shit. Like, it's uncommon. To be at Second City, go through A through E, not do conservatory, not do none of those intensives, then come back years later and be picked for Bob Curry is so different. To be picked for Bob Curry along with a few other amazing BIPOC comedians. One of them is my actual cousin from the projects that our family is from. Like, you know how, like, a lot of this shit be spiritual. That's why I love She's, because throughout the journey, crazy shit that happened, dog. Like, people literally die. People, you know what I'm saying, friends say fuck you. All type of shit happen, you know what I'm saying? You get backdoored. She always there for me, dog. And, like, I watched her. She's coming back from Second City. She bringing me in the green room at Second City. Mind you, I'm just a little nigga. I'm just paying for classes. I'm in the green room. I'm looking around. There's Cecily Strong and Chris Red, not understanding. damn, these motherfuckers will be on SNL in a couple of years. I'm watching the process. I see she's grinded out. What? I see her, you know what I'm saying, hit a lick. She go from just being on Insecure. She go to like writing a bunch. She writing for Southside. Everybody trying to be on Southside. She focused on the writing side. She, you know what I'm saying, she keeping her spirituality on point, inspiring me, making sure like, Joe, quiet the noise. Like, don't be giving it to the small shit. If you focus on the big shit, don't give your energy to the small shit. Because you took the energy from the big shit. So, you know what I'm saying? Dope. And it means so much to see somebody's journey go from not represented full team. You know what I mean? Doing shows at Second City and you know what I'm saying, feeling like, damn, Joe, did y'all just see how amazing that was? Are y'all crazy right now? Where the fuck is her flowers at? You know what I'm saying? And now she's in Disney projects. You know what I'm saying? It's like full circle. You know what I'm saying? Like damn, Joe, somebody I was just splitting tacos with is Emmy nominated. Like, nigga, this shit can work for real. And you know, she always told me like my journey would be different, and she was right. It was right. Like, it's different, but it wasn't perfect, but it was worth it. Yeah, for sure. Like, I'm still on this shit. I ain't rich.
I have two people in my life, not in my life. One of them's in my life. The other one's definitely not in my life. But I have two people who had that type of connection to me. It was one dude named KJ Robinson. He's a comic originally from Detroit and then moved to California. He was there when I got sucker punched. If it wasn't for him, I'd be dead. Very literally. You need to answer that? Okay.
It's 111 though.
What does that mean?
Angel numbers? You got all this woke shit around and you don't know about numerology? Angel numbers? It's time to have a woke session, class.
All right, let's hear it.
What just popped up on my phone was 111. What we really want to talk about is whether that message is just for me or for you or for us. I'm going to nominate us because we're engaging in this conversation. Now, angel numbers are called angel numbers because there are
I hate you.
People from the other side.
Just talk normal. Just talk how you talk, nigga.
No. So
I'm gonna force you to drink that Kool-Aid. I dropped the Kool-Aid and here we are again. You see.
So, angel numbers represent people from the other side or beings from the other side communicating to us because they don't have the typical means. They send messages to us through numbers that we will see that have messages, much like seeing 222 or 888. They all have different messages, especially depending on what you're doing, who you're doing it with, and what energies and things you're engaging in. In our case, stuff like 111 is a universal sign that you're on the right path and that you are exactly where you need to be when you need to be there.
You frustrate me. Well, that's good then. That's a good sign, right?
You sound like all my grade school teachers.
I'll take that as a compliment.
I failed Spanish to try to fuck my teacher.
How old were you?
I was in high school at that point.
Sure, I'm glad they didn't fuck you.
Nah, she took me out though.
Yeah, let's move away from that because that feels like that's
I did say no childhood traumas, and technically high school is child. You right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Moving
on.
Yeah, I don't want to drag
I
nobody
appreciate that. Thank you.
The other dude,
I wouldn't lock her up though. She was a real one.
You're gonna get somebody in trouble one day. Though.
No, I'm not gonna get her in trouble.
Mm-hmm. Somebody gonna find it. So you're gonna get famous. They're gonna find this clip, and they're gonna look her up. And they'll find out.
I never cooperate.
I
was different.
I always have a issue remembering his name. I want to say it's Davis something.
I definitely chopped cheese last day, but I'm also high as hell. You more than your name. You're Fro Aaron.
I'm actually gonna be getting my shit braided on Monday, so I'm gonna be cornrow Aaron for a little bit.
You get the ones like a LA nigga with the plaits.
No. I'm getting the Rileys, the little Riley
bro.
Get
the plaits. You know your culture. Get it.
No, I'm straight up.
Be yourself. I love it. That's a callback. I fucking love it. I get to terrorize everyone's podcast in Chicago.
This dude.
Right. I used to live around the corner from him when I was in North Hollywood.
So before I moved out here, I met him at a mic, and I did well. I was talking about
cool guy.
He was very cool. And I did this mic, and I did
Ryan Davis. Shout out to that brother.
Yeah, I did this mic, and I got his info, and I was like preparing to go to Chicago, so I was real hungry. I was aggressive. Everything about me was. I was in a sense of desperation.
What mic was you at when you bumped into bro? Because he was usually killing clubs, but by the time you was about to move out here,
I was just he was just there.
That's dope that he was rocking with you there. Because at that point, that nigga already lived in North Hollywood already.
Yeah, there was no need for him to be where we were at.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like, bro was definitely dope for fucking with you.
And there was no reason to talk to me. And I was...
Especially because you wasn't funny yet.
All right, well, let's
But I said, yeah, you're there. It's okay to do it. I do it about me. It's okay. There's a time when I used to just get on stage and jig. Laugh, please.
I had this especially aggressive energy at the time. I remember I had recently watched The Last Dance.
Dude. Why the fuck did The Last Dance give you aggression?
Michael Jordan? We're talking about Michael?
Oh, I thought you was talking about the one where the black dude was with the white girl dancing.
No. I think that saved The Last Dance.
Oh, brother, I keep thinking you was here by the time that was playing. That was during the pandemic, though. I remember that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You wasn't here. You so fresh.
Yeah.
You're so fucking fresh. Because in my mind, I'm like.
Yeah, I've been here about 10 years now. Something like that, right?
No, but it was. So, yeah, that's dope. That's cool to hear your journey and where it overlaps with mine. That's dope.
I was in this aggressive, like, success by any means, knock niggas over, we killing shit, we out here, we slitting throats. That was my headspace. So I was talking to him, and I remember feeling real aggressive. I remember super aggressive, and I would message him, and I'd be like, how do I do this and this and this to make some money, because I'm gonna do this and this. And he's like, just calm down and just work on being funny. And then I would bother him again a few months later. What about what I'm trying to do this and this? Just calm down and just work on being funny. And then I think maybe like one more time. I was like, yeah, but bro, I'm trying to do this. And he's like, I ain't talking to you no more. Basically. Like I just ruined my relationship. Mm-hmm. And I want to say years later, I messaged him. I want to say 2-3 years later, I was like, hey man, it's been a little bit. You're welcome to not respond to this. But it's been some time, I've been in Chicago, and I think I understand what you were saying. And he just liked it, which was appreciated that he acknowledged it. But it was one of those things of like, yeah, there's people who know more than you, and it's always good to just sit down and just be quiet and just listen.
That's real talk. And to know, like, y'all gonna have more interactions. You know why? Because you won't quit.
We'll see.
Well, if you quit, right, then that's
I'm not quitting. I'm saying
so,
we'll see.
And that's why. You know why? Because I used to think that. I used to think like, man, I'll probably never see. Like, don't get me wrong, I was always doing right by people. Oh, we hit our time thing.
No, we're good. This is new equipment. I'm still getting used to it.
So I say all that to say, like, when you don't quit like that, Joe, it's amazing how you come full circle to bump back into people and they remember you. Like, it'll fuck your head up. Like me and Sheeds and my boy Rama, shout out to Rama, amazing fucking comedian as well. We were all at like the Disney park out there, and fucking Paul Scheer saw me and started screaming my name, and they was like, Paul Scheer knows you and screams your name? I'm like, that's my dog. Like, you'll be amazed because we only did a couple shows, but when you got that light about you and you keep going, bro, you're gonna bump into a motherfucker. He gonna be like, see you, you know what I'm saying? Like, for example, fucking Eddie Murphy. You ever heard the Eddie Murphy story when he was real young and he was still real dirty? He was down there in the South somewhere and he bumped into Rodney Dangerfield. And Rodney Dangerfield's like, hey kid, you gotta stop that dirty shit. That my dick, your pussy, that shit ain't going nowhere, bro. The cussing, the vulgarity, you're not gonna get booked. You gonna fuck up. Years later, Eddie Murphy is in his bag. We're like Delirious Raw when he was wearing all leather.
Yeah.
They at a club somewhere. And Rodney Dangerfield is pissing, and Eddie Murphy come up to the stall next to him and start pissing. Rodney Dangerfield look over at him and said, "Who would have thought?" That's such a dope ass story, bro. Yeah. But it's the truth. Sometimes, your journey is gonna be crazy as fuck, and like there's gonna be OGs that's gonna give you knowledge from their standpoint. You take what you're supposed to, and you leave the rest. Yeah. And then you see them later, and you had them talks about like, damn, you either was super right or super wrong, but fuck it, we both here now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you.
And that's the shit that you're gonna be having coming, bro. Like you got years. Right. Like they say, 10 years you see the magic. Bro, I was paying.
Okay, so what I think is happening is this thing has about an hour in it to record. And we'll see if starting it up again makes it work. Mm-hmm. But just in case, because I don't know when it's going to stop again. I'm gonna ask the last question because I don't want to keep running issues. Mm-hmm. All right, you ready for that last one? Mm-hmm. Okay. So for this one, we're gonna look right into the camera. And pretend you're talking to yourself 5 years in the future. This is you 5 years from now. What do you want to say to yourself 5 years from
now? Send energy, nigga. This shit crazy. Oh my God. Send positivity back right now. Oh my God. It's so crazy. Oh my God. No. 5 years. It'll be turning 2029. Going into 30?
2030. Yeah, going into 2030.
Going into 2030. Man, I know you got it. I know to send some energy back because you remember what this shit was like, bro. I'm grateful for you for sending that back because I need it. And you remember the rule, nigga. Stop fucking around. Have some kids. I know your black ass ain't had no kids yet. Go ahead and settle down. I know you got ideas and shit you want to do. But eventually, we got to do it. Unless you're going to do this Nikola Tesla shit and you really want to do it. Because I know this laboratory is going to be really fucking nice. Something I really can't wait to fucking see. Make sure that shit lit. And put a stripper pole in that motherfucker for breaks. The first laboratory with high-powered equipment. Amazing fucking like quantum computer equipment. And stripper poles. But also not just tech shit. I also want to really get into like design. So like I guess that is still techie in design, but like I really do think that we can design some cool shit to make our day-to-day easier. Like I don't think a nigga gonna make the fork, but I'm gonna make some shit. All right, well, you gonna make the shit, nigga. You got the lab already. And you better run up the fucking bag and you better build the lab. Don't fuck around. Don't be fucking around and Nick Cannon and have a bunch of babies. Don't fuck off the bag, nigga. One wife, a lot of babies. Steph Curry that shit.
All right, let's take a picture.
I thought it was a fucking